Dom. Um, I mean, we've hyped him up because he has these good moments, and when you see these good moments, you expect them every game. But there's only so many players I think in the world who can be like that almost every game. Even Mo Salah, we go on and rave on about Mo Salah, but Mo Salah's not at his best every single game, or at least that's what I would have said maybe before this season. I'm not so sure now. This season he's almost been at his best every game, or at least in enough of a game for it to make a difference. But um, also, what wouldn't about Dom at times, and he's doing it a bit at the minute, but it doesn't affect him now because he's playing so well. He has that sort of look of a bit like he's in between hairstyles. I mean, I know it's not something I've got experience of myself, but he's in between hairstyles. Looks a bit like he's growing it out a little bit. It looks a bit unkempt. He's not had a shave, and sometimes that can look, that can kind of not look great for a player. They're not doing so well, and then they look like that. Kind of looks like they can't be asked, but it's unfair, really. And we kind of all these little things, all these little cues that we pick up, but mostly what we pick up is on how they play. And I think just at times he's just not. He's not been up at that same level that we've expected of him, that we've seen of him. And when you've seen that, you kind of want it every week. I also think there's been times when he's not been 100% fit and he's played games, and that doesn't help you. But I've seen this season, he's really come into himself. I mean, maybe having that fact that he's in a bit of competition, if you like, because it kind of is I would say between him and Jones, who gets to play a game. And at the moment, he's edging Jones, but then there'll be times when Jones just starts racing ahead, and the two of them he's doing both of them the power of good to have that competition, because I don't think either of them are going to push McAllister out the side, and I don't think Gravenberch is going anywhere because of the position he's playing and the way he's been playing.
Gravenberch never not starting a game again.
He's not, he's the only one on the team sheet who's actually written on in Sharpie rather than a wipe away pen. And this is the thing. I think this competition makes a difference, and I think I've thought this about the front men as well. When there's so many players vying for a place in that side, you get the best out of them, because, I mean, Mo apart, none of them can really think of themselves as guaranteed starters. We can kind of predict a lineup, as you said at the start. We kind of knew we knew Mo was going to be in, but you do wonder, could Cody be made to make way for Diaz playing out wide? Will Nunez come in instead of Diaz playing central, or will Diaz play central? I mean, at the moment, Gakpo has to start the way he's been playing. Mo obviously has to start. So he just leaves that one central spot, which you think, when Jota's fit and well, he's going to take that back again. And but the thing is, there is this competition, and as soon as you sort of ease off, you lose it. And I think Dom today, it was just one of his best games. Certainly in the early part of the game, it wasn't as noticeable as later on in the game. But until he went off, I think the fact he went off at 60 tells you a lot as well. He's one of the players that the manager wants to keep hold of, wants to keep the best of, keep him rested. Maybe a sign that he does need that rest from time to time. But the goal itself, I just love the way that if someone like Mo had done that, we'd be just raving on about it, wouldn't we, for ages? Just the way he just sort of found that ability to just get past his man, move himself into a little bit more of a central spot, into some space, and just found the net. I mean, he just guided it right into the corner. The keeper's always going to struggle to get one of those. And I think this is what we need more of from him. I mean, some people kind of argue, some people kind of put him as one of a front four, don't they, when they're sort of saying what the lineup is. I still think of him as a midfielder. He's not, he's not one of the front men, so to speak. But you expect goals from that position. You expect players to be banging goals in, because the strikers don't always get them. And that's what we need more of from him. And I would say from Jones as well. We need more goals off the pair of them. But that was just so well taken today. And I think, it's a good little, a bit of a reward for what we've seen from him this season. I think we've seen a much better Dom this season. And I'm sure that's in large part down to Arne Slot and his team just sort of going through with him, making little tweaks and making little suggestions, and, making sure he understands what he's doing right, but just looking at little ways he can do certain things better. And this attention to detail is what's, I think, going to stand Liverpool in good stead as this season goes on. Because you think about it, it's still only half a season with his manager and his coaching staff with these players. But every week that goes by, there's something new to learn from and something new to work on. And that's actually making us better.
Yeah, absolutely so. Absolutely so. And if Jones, I think Jones might miss midweek, but you'd expect maybe re-rotating that a little bit anyway.
Oh, and just before I forget as well, the ball through to Dom was from Konate. That was a lovely little ball through, a little gap to get it through to him. And that made the goal, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of what you want to see a bit more from Ibu, because I think as I mentioned, slot name check. I think they were talking about how Ibu could get to Van Dijk's level, and he talked defensively. He's definitely already at that level. It's just about on-ball stuff that we see Van Dijk makes him the complete package, obviously. And yeah, if he does more of that, and he obviously does it again 30 seconds later, which we'll come on to. But yeah, it was just a really nice pass. But we'll move on to that. I mean, 10 seconds later, after the kickoff, Moore gets a half chance. He probably should have squared it, to be honest. But again, set up by Ibu, passing through the lines that you kind of want to see. Moore, I think Moore's just very desperate to keep scoring goals and breaking records. He should have passed it. But I mean, I don't know what commentary you had, but I had Stephen Warnock, which is never fun.
Yeah, sadly. And I tried to find a way around it, but I couldn't.
Yeah, and the first thing he said is greedy Mo Salah, and you're like, hasn't he got the most assists in the Premier League this year?
Yes.
It's like, what is going on here? It's just, I don't get it. But yeah, I mean, there's that pass from Ibu, and Mo should probably square it, as I say. A couple of minutes later, Szoboszlai has a lovely little lobbed pass over a couple midfielders to Gakpo, and then that gives it to Gakpo, and then he sets up Mo for a chance to dribble at Leif Davis. And then Ipswich get a corner. Alisson gets fouled. It's probably a bit soft, to be fair to them. Good midfield play by McAllister and Dom. McAllister shoots wide. And then Wes Burns, unfortunately, looks like he's buggered his knee, and there's like a long, I think there was 7 minutes added time, but it felt longer than that, to be fair.
Yeah, and he looked quite innocuous, didn't it?
Yeah, it was like just a little clash of knees, wasn't it, really? It didn't look like a ACL or anything, but hopefully it's nothing too serious. But yeah, he looked in agony, and obviously when the stretcher comes on, you kind of always wince a little. But yeah, we have obviously a bit of a break for about 5 to 10 minutes there. We're just kind of playing well. I think the attack wasn't obviously deadly because there wasn't loads of chances, but I think the midfield was fantastic in this first 20 minutes, and for the entire game, to be fair. But this first 20 minutes, I think Szoboszlai and McAllister especially were basically on fire.
Yeah, there was times when McAllister was the way he was winning the ball back when they did get the ball, the way he was winning it back and doing something sensible with it. And I mean, look, I hate to quote him, but it was quite a good thing. He actually said, one said it's like he's got Velcro on his feet later on in the game. But yeah, certainly early on in the game. I mean, just before that issue with Wes Burns, he won the ball off Delap, who just fell over.
Yeah.
And then I think he went towards goal and had a shot and dragged it wide. But throughout the game, this is what you saw from him, just that determination and, you know, the strength in him, the skill in him, the intelligence of him as a player. I mean, we've just bigged up Dom, but I mean, and this is no disrespect to Dom, but you know, Mac's on another level, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is. He really is. I think McAllister had kind of a quietish start to the season, but I think now he's just, again, with Gravenberch, you'd put his name in permanent marker as well on the team sheet,
Yeah,
and nobody'd blink an eye.